Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I am your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, here on Voice of the Rings. Today, I'm going to walk you through and guide you through how to get your server world files off the third party of Nitrado for the game Return to Moria. That is the goal of this video. There's a lot of videos about Nitrado, about ARC servers on YouTube. This is particularly for the Return to Moria. I'm going to show you real quickly how you download, how you get them off Nitrado. You actually have to have a fourth party software to do that. I will link that in the description. I will show you how to then put them into your folders, and then how you could put them, then play them solo on your solo campaign, or you could use a backup and put it back onto your server if something catastrophic happened. Now, use a timestamp below to jump to where I actually start the guide here. I'm going to explain something real fast why I'm doing this video. The biggest point of this video is because recently I was trusting the autosaves, because I pay for Nitrado. I was trusting that the autosaves would be saving the entire server world. Unfortunately, they were glitching. They were not. They were only saving about 30 or 40% of all our work and effort. We had a catastrophic thing happen and a castle blew up. And we were like, and I just went, okay, well, a month earlier, I had used the autosaves that Nitrado does automatically, and it did everything great, brought everything back, no issue, fixed it from the day before. Perfect. It does an autosave every day and a restart automatically, the server. I'm like, sweet. Okay, great. So I went in to do that. I did that to get our castle fixed from the day before, and found out when it loaded the file that it was like a month earlier. It was like 70% of our world was gone. Obviously we were like, whoa, what happened? That's horrible. Okay, we're going to reload the day of back to what we were at. So I reload that file, and that save file had also been corrupted. And the worst part is it overrided the original file. I don't know why it wouldn't have a revert option in the Nitrado server, but it's a little simplistic. And again, it's one of their smaller games they host, so I understand. I did try to get a hold of Nitrado. Their ticket thing would not allow me to put a ticket in, and I asked them on their Discord and no one responded. So I did my best. If they see this video and you'd like to respond and help us out, that'd be awesome. But again, this video is not about needing help. We've moved on now from that pretty much. But we will never again will the dwarf builders in my team ever fall into the autosave's hands again. I will be manually saving, and that is what the goal of this video is. All right, so if you've jumped to this point, you are now at the point in the video where the timestamp was. So here is how we start everything. I have some black boxes up covering the vital information of my server. This is where at the top in this box, you're going to have your invitation code, your IP address. There's going to be an IP address over here. This is the dashboard page. This is all that you're going to need to get your autosaves, okay? Get your files off. There's a quick connect down here and admin connect. You're only going to need the quick connect, but you are going to need to download the fourth party software of FileZilla. Okay, I will link in the description for you, but you are going to need to download this. Now, if I bring this down, you can see there are four different things here. Okay, you have the host, you have the username, you have the password, and the ports. All right, before you do this, my friends, shut off the server. Now, it might not hurt anything to just download the files over, but I'd recommend shutting down the server anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and click stop server, and I'm going to click stop. All right, so now that your server is stopped, and you can see server stopped up here, this is where you'll now pull up your Zilla thing here, and you're gonna basically just go down here and see where it says host name. Remember, this is a quick connect, all right? Now there is an option to do some other stuff. You just are gonna be using quick connect, just this one right here, okay? The credentials are gonna be found right here on your server on the dashboard of your management of Return to Moria, not your main one. You have to go to the actual management button, okay? And then you're going to just copy and paste host name into this spot up here. And then you're going to copy and paste the port here, and the username here, and the password here. And then you're going to click connect. Okay, I'm going to do that separate here for you. All right, so once you've copied and pasted those in, again, I have them blocked here for privacy reasons. Click quick connect. All right, it's going to take a moment. You're going to see it do some connecting status things up at the top. Trying to do some connecting. Okay, it might take a little bit depending on your area. And then going to get to this, okay? Now, here is where you can see here, these files on the right are what are in the remote site or the Nitrado server. So this is what's in the brain. This is what's hosting over on their server, wherever that might be, wherever your location of your server is. That is the files. Okay, so these are how you're going to get your manual files. Now over here, these are your files in your computer. Okay, so these are going to be your folders and your files. I have already made a backup file here, folder. Okay, now I highly recommend that you always date them and you always put your backup number, which one. I'm doing a second backup here, and put the date. You could put the time too if you really wanted to, but I'm not going to do it more than once a day, so I'm just going to put the date. Now, to keep in mind, you might want to copy and paste all your save files on a different drive. And that's because if your drive dies on you, your files will not all be lost forever. Sometimes when a drive dies, you can't get your files on their corrupt stuff, right? So I recommend having it on 2 separate drives. Now for me personally, I actually have been putting them in a Dropbox as well to give to my players who are the ones doing a lot of these builds so that they can also have them safe on their computer, and also how we can all kind of have backups together. And also they're on the Dropbox then. So I will show you that at the very end of this video. So now, moving into how to do this. So over here, you need to make sure you are on the right thing. You could really download it anywhere, but not to confuse yourself, I'm going to make sure I click on the right folder here and double left click, and I'm actually already in it. So I am in it. So now if I just drag and drop these files over here. So again, I'm just going to be doing these ones. This top one is nothing. Okay, this is like the directory thing. Don't worry about this ... one. You're just getting Lotra, Moria, and whatever else. You might not need all the other ones, but sorry about my dog. He's barking back there. All you're going to do to download is either right-click download, or, and you could select where, or you could just, I just like to drag with left-click and drop. And this is, of course, I am on a Windows computer. I don't know, that'll be different for you on different things, whether you're on Mac or a different application. So now basically you just wait. It's going to be working. You can see successful transfers down here at the bottom and failed transfers. You don't want failed transfers. You got queued files over here. So basically we're just waiting for the server to send us the information. So we're going to let that go. It's pretty darn quick. Return to Moria isn't a huge game, the file sizes. There we go. We are finished, and it says 71 successful files. And if we look over here, you can see this folder is now filled up, right? Because we prepped. I prepped a folder ahead of time. You don't have to prep a folder ahead of time, but I like to be organized. So anyway, there you go. We have the files from our server. Now, before we move on to showing you how to put them into your own personal files to, place into a world, what if you wanted to upload a world to the Nitrado server this way? Or do you want to fix a glitch because something catastrophic happened, your castle blew up like happened to us, and you want to fix that, right? So basically what you're going to do is you'll copy always before you do this, always on the right side. Make sure you copy your folders first. But you go into the Lotra Moria, you go into Moria, you go into saves, and then you go into this one right here, the save games dedicated, the top one here. And these are your files to your world. So what you would do is you'd go to your backup from the day before. Let's say this is our backup we just made, right? You go into Moria, you go into saves, you go into saved dedicated, and then these are your server world files. So what you would do is, again, I always recommend this. Even if you had a catastrophic thing happen, still make a separate folder and back up all your files first, okay? Once you've backed them all up, then you can delete all the ones in this folder that are the same, right? The saved game folder. And you can drag and drop your backups from the day before into this folder, and it should transfer it back the other way. Just that simple, okay? But again, make sure you always make a save first of your folders. And you're really not going to want to do this very often, but that's how you could fix it if you needed to. Okay? So that is basically going back the other way. But now that we've done this, basically we can close FileZilla because we're actually finished with it. There's not really like a disconnect button that I've noticed. I just close it, and that's usually what works for me. I looked for a disconnect for a while, but there we go. All right, so now that we have these files, okay, and we're already opened into the right file folder, okay? So again, these are our saved files for today. I'm going to go ahead and in a minute show you, I'm going to upload these to my cloud. I'll show you in a second. I'll show you that in a second. Let's talk about putting them on to actually play the game. All right, so now we don't even need our server anymore back here, but don't forget, you do need to restart your server. So make sure you turn it back on, right, once you've done this. All right, so I'm going to turn mine back on. Alrighty, so now to show you how to put the files into for the game, okay? So the first thing is you need to know, where does Moria save your files for your solo worlds, right? Not for Nitrado, for your solo worlds. You need to go into your computer and you need to go to your local disk. So again, I'm covering for my privacy of my name stuff, but you go to the local C, user, your name, whatever that is, your main name of your computer system. Your app data will be the next one you click. Then you go to local, Moria, saved, all right? And then you're going to go into, with saved, it's either going to be, it depends on if you are playing in Epic Games or if you're on Steam. I'm going to be showing you the Steam way, but if you're going to do Epic Games, you would do it through saved Epic Games. Do not touch the local one. That one is not the one it uses. So if you were using Epic, you'd use this one, but I'm going to use Steam. So you do that one, and now we're in Steam Games. So this is where now I will teach you how to do this to update a world. So I already did a save yesterday. So that file is already there, but I want to update my solo world with the newest update that I just made from Nitrado. So I'm going to go into my newest one, go into Moria, go into saved, go into the save dedicated, and these ones I am going to right-click copy. I don't want to move them out of this folder. I want them to stay here as a copy, so I'm just going to copy. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to paste. Make sure you're careful not to paste on top. Just like find a spot, you know, regular pasting mechanics here. And then it's going to ask you this. It's going to play, there's 14 with the same name. You're going to want to say yes to replace these, all right? And I'll show you why. If you notice, the ones that it's talking about, you can see the exact name data here, right? Here's one, for example. MW8, blah, 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 blah. And you can see it here too. MW86, blah, 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 blah. These are the same ones, the same world, this group. But you can see I have many worlds. So don't delete your other files. So that's why I just copy them over and then say replace the files in the destination. All right, and if you notice, these files only have 1,665 kilobytes of data, where the new files have 1,729. So you can see that my team has done some work. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to replace files in destination. Now, if you wanted to make sure, you could take these files before you replace them, copy them, put them in a different folder for a backup, and then paste. But remember, those exact files that were from yesterday's save, which I do have literally right here, saved up as a side one, okay? So just make sure you think very critically on what files you're copying, replacing, and follow exactly kind of what I just showed you, right? Be careful, because if you do the wrong thing, it can be catastrophic, you can lose data. Now the thing is, the nice thing about the computer, you could always just right click and say, I believe it is undo copy, and it should just bring back the other files. And also sometimes they will be in your deleted folder. You can find them right in your trash bin and bring them back if you wanted to, because usually it trashes them when you replace them like that. All right, so anyway, knowing that information, now you've done it. You have two backups. Again, I'd recommend putting these into two different two different drives on your computer. I have several drives, so I'll have them backed up on two different drives. And I'm going to show you at the end here how to put them into a cloud to share onto Discord, because Discord does not like the file type of Return to Moria and these files from Nitrado. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this. We no longer need this one open, okay? We're set, so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here. So now, just so you guys believe me that it does indeed work, we will launch the game momentarily here so you guys can kind of see what is going on. Going to get rid of that black box here. All right, we're going to launch this. All right, and we are going to go over into here, and we're going to launch Return to Moria. Occasionally with Return to Moria, you might want to click the Recloud Sync Up if it's unsynced after you drop new files. Keep that in mind. It usually auto does it, but you know, just keep that in mind. Good to know. All right, and I'm going to push play. And it's saying syncing files, which is good. And let's just real quick jump in and see if
our
it is
story is more
working.
than what.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go into here. All right, and then we're going to launch my character. Now remember, when I want to join a dedicated server world, join another world, you can see right here, here is my dedicated server world to join, and there is a password, so if you have the join code, it's irrelevant. You still have to have a password to join in. But this is, again, the dedicated world that I could jump in that's being hosted by Nitrado right now. But we're testing if those files I copied are correct. So we're going to load another world and go into our private solo worlds, and there is my same name. It'll be the same name as your server world on Nitrado, and it is here, my dedicated Voice of the Rings server world campaign. Okay, so then at this point I play offline. I'm gonna launch it. I'm gonna see if those files indeed have updated, And I will know because I was on yesterday to see if they didn't, so I will tell you right now. Again, guess you don't really need to see this part in the video. You can hop to the last part if you care. If this helped you out already and you're good, thank you so much. Again, if you throw a like on there and subscribe if I helped you out. We do Lord of the Rings content on this channel. I don't usually do guides with files, but this is something very near and dear to my heart right now because I was very, we felt betrayed by the auto system quite drastically. It was rough. We were pretty distraught, like 6 of us. But I gotta say to my team though, my Moria team, they were very kind about it, and they were very mature and big about it. And it was literally like I was just, oh my gosh, I was at total. It was bad. I was so upset because I knew how many hundreds of hours was lost. So do not trust the auto saves in Nitrado. Never again will I trust them. All right, so we look here real quick just to see if, yep, it looks like we do have some updated stuff that people have been working on. I just wanted to make sure that is a new map for sure right there. I just want to kind of see what we got going on here. Let's teleport around. It looks like indeed it did update it. I want to go to actually the upper city real quick because I believe that is where they were working on the fortress today. Yeah, it looks like things have been starting to work on here. Oh, this is the different city. No, this is a different place. I went to the wrong place. All right, anyway, so yes, it looks like it's good though. Everything, I see a couple new things, so we are set. So pretty much there you go. Now I could play on it as a private world if I wanted to. Now, granted, in theory, if I worked on it as a private world, I could then take the files off the way I showed you to put them on, and then you could put them the other way onto the Nitrado server. So in theory, you could load a server that you want to show everyone or play with everybody that you already had made on there. But remember, it's going to delete whatever server's on there. So make sure you always back up whatever's on the Nitrado file server world before you do anything to it. Before you replace new files to fix a glitch or add a new server, make sure you always do that first. All right, guys? All right, sweet. So now you're experts at this. Well, to the best of my ability, at least, showing you. The last thing I want to show you is the Dropbox. So what I like to do in this particular thing is I bring up my files, and I'm literally going to just do the classic upload a file. You have to make a Dropbox. You could probably do this with Google, Files too. And then I'm going to go ahead and upload a folder. And then this is where it actually already knew where my area was, which works out really, really well for me. So I'm going to go into my Return Moria, do not delete folder. As you can see, I wrote up there. I'm going to go in this one and upload that file. All right. This file will upload, blah, blah. Do you trust? Of course I trust this site. This is my browser saying that. So it does a quick little update, and upload. And there we go. We have it. All right. And ta-da. And again, if you are someone who wants to use this file, some updates failed. By the way, if you look here and you view the error there, it was the Moria rules and stop command from the server. Those don't matter anyway, so that happens. Don't freak out, just so you guys know. You don't need those. You just need those files that I showed you. All right, so now we have this backup here. I'm going to go ahead and just get the link to copy it. All right, copy the link. It's copied, and then I'm going to bring up my Discord. Whoop. We're going to bring up Discord real quick, and I'm going to drop it in the spot that I always drop it for you guys. So anyway, I hope this helped you out. If you needed this, so here we go. I've been just dropping right here. Okay, this would be, and then I've just been dating it for everyone. This is our second backup. So backup number 2. All right, number 2, and today's date when I did it. Yeah, 29. Yeah, we're 800 years in the future. Okay, so there we go. And now they can get the file themselves if they need it from the Dropbox. But at the same time, now we're all prepped and ready, and we have backups all the time. And again, I have 2 different saves on 2 different drives, so they don't have to save it. But if they want to have a file of their work too, since we're all working together, there we go. So that might be good how you want to set up for your group and your team. I hope this video will help some of you ahead of time so that you do not have the same traumatic experience that me and my building team had with losing our world. And the good news is some of it was immortalized in some of my live streams and videos here on the channel. So the good news is some of the builds were recorded, and you can see them in those videos forever here on the channel. So, but still, it was rough for us. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope this helped you out. How to set up and get off your Return to Moria files. Baruch Hazad Kuzad menu. Thanks to my Patreons for their support. I'm sorry I didn't do a camera today. My room was a mess, and I just want to make this video fast. So, thank you, Reb, Elraandor, and Angus for being Royal Guards, and all my other Patreons. And I will see you guys in the next videos and live streams of Return to Moria here on Voice of the Rings. Stay happy, my friends. See you soon.